The unfortunate downside to this absolutely beautiful game is that it does the one thing I hate to see in mobile games, yet most of them unfortunately do it anyways. Marvel Future Revolution. If all I'd played for this game was the first 20 minutes, I would have come away saying, wow, what an amazing game. Netmarble really did a great job. However, the game unfortunately takes a turn after the first 20-minute section, but we'll get to that in a bit. Marvel Future Revolution starts out in a cutscene, 3D animated playable mini-movie referencing the Marvel Multiverse, where you can learn about multiple Earths converging into one aggressively and about to destroy the planet. MODOK and his crew are trying to blow up the other Earth, and the heroes are trying to stop him. Over the next few minutes, you play through various playable battle scenes where you get to experience the gameplay style of each of the 8 Marvel heroes: Spider-Man, Black Widow, Captain America, Iron Man, Storm, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Star-Lord. What's so great about this is that not only does it give you a lot of story to get you engaged in what you're about to experience and give you context, but at the same time it jumps right into the action and allows you to experience all 8 class types in the game early on. Since you'll be picking one of these characters to play as, you get to experience them before you have to make that selection. Not to mention, it's beautifully done. Modeling, animation, environment, camera work, everything is really top-notch for a mobile game, and reminds me more of a AAA title than a thrown-together mobile app like most of the stuff on the App Store. In my opinion, this is something more mobile MMOs can and should do, and this was a fantastic way to start the game. Action, explosion, right away. The immersion factor for me was probably a 9 out of 10, and that's exactly how I want to start a game. What happened after that, well, that's a different story. Let's put things into context. The developer of this game is Netmarble, which is known for some very popular mobile games such as 7 Deadly Sins, King of Fighters All-Star, Marvel Future Fight, and Lineage 2 Revolution, among others. I want you to pay close attention to those last 2 games I mentioned, Marvel Future Fight and Lineage 2 Revolution, because that will give you a lot of context as to what this game actually is. That's right, it's a hybrid of Marvel Future Fight and Lineage 2 Revolution. That's the best way to describe the gameplay as a whole. If you like those games and want something that sandwiches them together, then this is exactly what you want. The unfortunate downside to this absolutely beautiful game is that it does the one thing I hate to see in mobile games, yet most of them unfortunately do it anyways. As soon as the first 20 minutes of gameplay and story are done, they introduce you to a new villain, the auto button. So after you're done getting hyped up and excited to start a new journey as an alternate universe version of one of your favorite Marvel superheroes, you click the little button that stops you from actually playing the game and watch your favorite Marvel superhero walk, run, or fly around and basically do chores all day without you. Now, don't get me wrong, there's actually some other good stuff about the game, which we'll get into in a second, and call me an old man, but I believe the beauty of video games is that they're actual games that you play. I'm not sure why I should get excited to watch Iron Man fly around my screen for hours, eating up my phone battery all day. I want to play as Iron Man, not watch him do chores. Of course, this is not the only game to do this. This is basically the standard operating procedure for any mobile MMORPG, which is why they keep falling short of achieving the active player base the developers strive for. And within a few months or even weeks, some of these gorgeous games that have had teams of people work for years on are barely even played anymore. This happens time and time again to almost every mobile MMORPG. All of that aside, if the auto button doesn't bother you like it bothers me and you're not burned out from MMOs, this game does deliver a lot, and it's very clear that a lot of talented people at Netmarble spent a lot of time on this game. The graphics are easily some of the best on mobile, which actually Netmarble is really good at in general, and if you've played some of their other games like King of Fighters, Lineage 2 Revolution, and more, you've already experienced what they're capable of. The action is fluid and smooth, it runs very well. I was using a $400 iPad mini to play it, and it was optimized enough to run everything great. Again, it's Netmarble, so they've had a lot of experience in this area before, and this is not their first rodeo, so you can expect less bugs or crashes than with a game from a new developer. That being said, there was an issue that may be small, but I couldn't help but notice it over and over and over again. When you go from traveling the map normally into a cutscene, there's a few frames where the low resolution textures aren't switched out for the higher resolution textures. It takes a few frames for them to actually be switched out. Maybe it's minor, I just couldn't help but notice it over and over again. Speaking of textures and costumes, if it seems weird that you're in an MMORPG with a bunch of other units of the same exact character as you, and you think it's weird to see 900 Captain America running around together, fear not, the costume customization is actually extremely robust. It must have taken them a ridiculous amount of time to actually make all these costume parts for each unit. There's so many different variations of each unit that it feels like you are truly in a multiverse where each Iron Man, Black Widow, and Doctor Strange are actually different characters, which is good because there's going to be some parts where everyone's auto battles stop at the same point and you and a bunch of other characters are just standing there, waiting for the players to actually pick up their phones. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. Hope it gives you a good understanding of the game, some pros and cons, and what to expect. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you as always in the next one.